It's that time again. That's right. Here we are kicking off the Lifted from the Rut live weekly TV program again. Yeah, we're going to put that live back on there because it's kind of fun. I always have that mountain background going on, and that just is not appropriate for right now. We're not doing that right now. So, yeah, I want to let you know we are live. So if you have questions, stuff like that, just feel free to throw them out. So here's kind of, for those that used to tap into it before, I used to do on Wednesdays, it's kind of a weekly Facebook Live, Lifted from the Rut. That's the name of my company, Lifted from the Rut. And I would do these and have guests on, and we would just banter, talk back and forth and stuff. So that's kicking off again today, this Friday. Now, originally, I was not going to be able to do this today because yesterday I was in the middle of an intervention with a family. And it's intense work that I do around addiction interventions and helping people. So if you ever need help with that, you can always reach out. But that's the purpose of the show, is not to sit there and promote my services. But yesterday was, let's see, somebody's calling. I have to wait. I'll mute that. It's kind of like being in a meeting with somebody and your phone goes off constantly. Like, that's just rude, right? So we're going to go and turn this phone off here in about 2 seconds. But so every week on Friday at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, unless it's like a holiday or something like that, I'll be posting kind of the weekly schedule. Probably start a Facebook group just specifically for this, so you can tune in every week at 10 o'clock, called Lifted from the Rut TV. And we're going to have guests on. We're going to talk about all sorts of topics. I'll probably have guests over here at my studio here live in my house to sit down and talk and just sit next to each other and just have conversations about just life and bringing hope to people, stories of triumph and overcoming things, bringing tons of tools to you from, business strategies and whatever topics are going to come up the week. We'll go ahead and post that. But one thing I wanted to show you is I'm wearing this shirt. So if you check out the shirt, it's called Life on Fire. And there's certain avenues of just like business or life or just things that make sense at the right time. Okay. And community is such a big part of it. So I'm a part of this amazing Life on Fire community and this Kingdom Influencer coaching group. And so much, just inspiration coming from other people that are doing big things. So being a part of community is such a humongous thing. And that's what I hope to bring through the Lifted from the Rut TV program. And I love being able to say you have like a TV program, right? Like basically I'm in my studio. Here's what the studio looks like. Ready? All right, we're going to show you what the studio looks like. So here we go. Ready? Oh, there's my window. Yep. And then over here is another window with all my books. But then you've got like the wonderful lights that you have like right up here in front of you, and lights over here, which is just a cool way to do that. We can have fun with the Zoom. I'm not going to do a lot of that stuff, but basically, you have a studio right here in your house that you can do awesome stuff like this for and just reach people all over the country. So it's just fun to be able to say you have a TV show, and it's basically myself, my microphone, this, and guests that they come on. So if you're watching this right now and you're like, Loman, I want to be a guest on your show and just have fun, we can just have whatever random conversations, but just community is what this is all about. So I'm throwing this out there. If you want to hit me up and be like, Loman, I want to be on your show, send me a Facebook message or just shoot me an email and then let's talk. Cause I got, I'm gonna be lining guests up for weeks down the road. Cause it's not just spontaneous. I mean, heck, if you're even on right now and you're like, Loman, I want to come talk to you right now. Well, I'll say this, we will do stuff like that. And it is a lot of times dependent on who the person is, because you can't just bring anybody on here because you don't know what's going to happen. So knowing your background a little bit is definitely going to help. But the goal is to have a show that's fun, uplifting, going to bring a lot of content, and talking about like breakthroughs that you have in your life. I mean, I'll tell you this right now that, about a year ago, I was thinking, what can I do to really explode my business? And then you see things come up and you're like, oh, check out this program and look at that program. Like, I don't think I'm going to invest $1,000 in that, or $1,500 in this, or, $400 in that. having the money, not having the money, whatever it is, right? But sometimes you just got to take those steps. And social media is a great way to do that. And I'll say this, every community that I'm really a part of right now is a result of the social media engagement. Right? Like this Life on Fire group that I'm a part of now is a direct result of a Facebook engagement. It was a Facebook ad that came across. I was like, man, that looks kind of cool. No. Well, heck, why not? It's free. I'm gonna go check it out. It's a challenge. Let's do it. Right. And then in that, it just pushed me to the next level and pushed me to this next level to do like bigger and better and greater things. So again, the show's not to sit there and like promote my services, to like bring people on and have good conversation. Cause I have 2 different podcasts that I do, which is a great way to reach people, of just bringing resources to people and saying, hey, you're struggling, go check out this podcast. I mean, I text podcast episodes to clients all the time. It's like, hey, maybe this podcast would be a great thing for you to connect, or other people's podcasts from other shows, or, hey, I know this person that's doing this really cool challenge. You should check it out. Or, man, if you want to invest some time and hear from just like a ton of great quality speakers, like there's this really cool summit that I know that someone's putting on. You should checking that thing out to help you through that season in your life. But just to be like a resource junkie, I mean, over here, it's kind of like my book of resources, authors that I like to read. And when I was incarcerated, I read like 42 books in 10 and a half months. I don't think I've read 42 books in my entire life outside that. But when you have time, right? And it was like just powering through, like, who am I? All these great things. So the type of guests we'll have on here, and I'm just talking about the format because this week, again, I wasn't going to be here today. As I'm like, hey, Friday, we're launching this thing. But in the work I do, I maybe have to fly off to help someone in an addiction that's trying to get help and do an intervention with a family. And so sometimes that just happens. And I can't say, hey, I have a live TV show for 35 minutes on Friday. Sorry, I can't help you. So those things as the group kind of forms, again, I'll do a Facebook group that's going to be, LFR Weekly TV. I don't know what's going to be called yet. I'll work on that this weekend. But having ideas and implementing them is so big, because I would have all these ideas before. I got notebooks of ideas, and they just sat inside the book. Like, great idea. What are you going to do with it? So I love how a new friend of mine, Nick Unsworth, says, done beats perfect. Think about that. Done beats perfect. So I can sit here and think like, oh man, if I'm going to reach people for this great idea and stuff that I have, I got to get all these things put together, and I got to have this thing in place and that thing in place. And oh my gosh, the color scheme is off, and this is off, and that's off. And 7, 8 months, 9 months later, it's like, man, I really wish I would have done that. Well, you can tweak stuff as you kind of go along in the journey. Like, the forms, you're going to learn new programs and be like, oh man, I mean, that's the type of things when you look at all these different, everyone's coming up with something, right? And it's like, oh, this software does this, or you should use ClickFunnels or Groove Pages, or you should use this thing, or you should use, Podbean or Spreaker or Stitcher, or, there's so many things out there. So to connect with people that have that expertise and can provide a plethora of information, say, hey, here's a lot of stuff to learn. We come up with this like repurpose.io on how can you take a podcast and it can create all these cool images. But then again, Headliner app does the same thing, or, figuring out what is going to help, or maybe you're just sitting around and you're just kind of like, dude, I'm just trying to like learn how to not put a needle in my arm today. Right. I have no anything aspirations. I just want hope. I just need hope. I need hope to not kill myself today, as I've dealt with suicide ideation in my life. And so bringing people on that are, wanting people to submit like, hey, I really want to hear about this. We'll do in the Facebook group when I create it, you'll know what that is next week, to ask questions. Hey, I want to know more about this. I'm struggling with this. Send me a private message. Say, Rob, I'm really struggling with X, Y, and Z. Can you please bring a guest on to talk about that? And when I see enough of those kind of like requests, I'm like, holy cow, there's a total need for something like this. And so, yeah, be bringing you lots of content, lots of speakers and those things too. And yes, heck, I also have a business too, that if people are attracted to that and say, hey, I need some coaching around that, you want to be a part of my mastermind groups to talk about business growth and strategies and what you can do to take yourself to the next level. Heck yeah, we're going to have stuff like that to offer people too. But it's not going to be sales pitches. It's going to be like, hey, this is, as you explore more about what I do at Lifted from the Rut, those things will come to fruition. So a lot of changes coming, but it takes a community of people to help you get there. And if you're watching the replay or live or whatever, and you just believe in community and you need positive community, just throw community in the chat and say, community, I'm all about community, and just creating cool, safe, good environments for people like that. Let's see what else. I don't know what else to share. I mean, you do cool stuff like understanding things like Fiverr or Upwork that can help you grow your business in a unique way. I mean, that's who put together this commercial for me. I said, hey, I need a commercial for my show. I reached out to this guy on Fiverr, and this is what he put together. I mean, that's kind of fun to have like a kind of a commercial for a TV show, but you find people that do what you don't do well, and you hire them to do it, right? And those are the great things about so much content delivery out there. So I will be again, I'll create the group, I'll send it out, and then next week is obviously Thanksgiving, so we'll take the day off for Thanksgiving. So that way you'll give a week and a half, 2 weeks for people to kind of get fired up about it, want to join the Lifted from the Rut TV program, which, I don't see, this is why it's great to have a group. I'm going to take this to my group of people where you brainstorm on ideas after this, because I'm talking out loud right now and I can watch the recording like, man, I didn't think about that. But you talk about stuff out loud, you're just kind of like, bam, it's pretty cool to do those kind of things. And then, let's see, what are some other neat things I have up here? Fiverr or StreamYard is actually a pretty cool deal. So I guess that's it. But what I will say is that, things are impressed upon our hearts to do stuff, big things. And let's see if I have this book over here. Where is it? Sorry, Bruce, I don't have your book out here, but I wanted to show people it, but I'll have to put it out here later. But you're getting inspired to like step out of the comfort zone to do like some cool stuff. And you're like, what if I fail? Well, every failure is a success, right? If you look at it that way, you can say, wow, I failed or I succeeded. Choice is yours. That's what I think. I can look at things like, hey, I have a bunch of debt I want to get out of, right? And people are like, people just focus on like, you hear them say like, oh, I just want to get out of debt. I just want to get out of debt. I just want to get out of debt. Well, is that a positive or negative thing? I don't know if you're watching a replay or something, just put, is getting out of debt a positive or negative thing in your mindset? I want to get out of it. Okay, so now flip it a little bit and say this other phrase out loud. It's like, I want to build wealth. I am building wealth. I will build wealth. I will build wealth, right? Say those things. So say, I want to get out of debt, or I want to build wealth. Which one is going to have more of a positive drive and a positive focus? Building wealth, right? Because if you build wealth, what is naturally going to happen? You're going to get out of debt. Boom. Okay. So let's talk about faith a little bit. Let's talk about this faith journey. Let's say I'm not behaving the way I want to. Let's say you're not behaving the way you want to. You're struggling with this conflict, right? And we say, man, I just need to stop doing that. I just need to stop it. I just need to stop doing that. I just need to stop it. I just need to stop it. Thanks for the thumbs up, Tom. Now saying these things to yourself, I just need to stop that, stop that, stop that, stop that. Or flip it a little bit and say, I just want to be more like this. For me, that would be Jesus. I just want to be more like Jesus. And if I strive to be that, then naturally I'm going to stop doing this other thing because I'm striving to be this. So striving for the positive will naturally get rid of the negative. So those are the kind of things we'll bring to your show. We're going to have cool guests on, all that kind of stuff. So I just want to give you a primer for that. So starting, let's take a look at the calendar for those that are on right now. So next Friday is, let's see here. I mean, it's the day after Thanksgiving, but heck, I don't know. Maybe I'll be on next Friday. I don't know. But officially kicking it off December the 4th, which is 3 days before my summit that is happening on December the 7th. This one right here. If you go to that website, you can see what I'm talking about. But anyway, so yeah. And then even on that day, the 11th, we'll get on at 10 o'clock. And then immediately after that, I'll be interviewing Corey Carlson on the summit that I just mentioned. That's on the 11th. But, doing cool announcements. Anyway, Mondays, I actually do a, hey, here's what's coming from Lifted from the Rut, just kind of a quick pop in, pop out thing. So we're going to book in the weeks. Monday, hey, here's what's coming from Lifted from the Rut, if you tap into that stuff. And then Fridays will just be the actual Lifted from the Rut TV program that I'll keep going because consistency is what builds momentum, right? So that's it. Y'all have a good day. And we're going to hop off with the commercial one more time, and then we end it.